Hey Mike, I'm just gonna give you a tour around the garden or what the garden is so far. Hopefully the audio is okay and you can hear me. So let's go. All right, right out here on the right hand side is just flowers for right now. These are some really leggy sunflowers. Weren't getting a lot of sun, and so they ended up like that. And then this right here is just wildflower mix. Just threw it in there, try to get some pollinators. These have been here for about a month and a half to 2 months. Still don't have the flower heads yet. These ones I planted at least a month after these ones, but I left these in full sun right over there. And they've got really big, and so big that some of these zinnia actually are about to bloom. That one's getting closer too. Larger ones are sunflowers with these type of leaves. And then that right there is a little beneficial bug that actually eats gnats and stuff like that. So it's good. Love having those here. This over here is like the auxiliary. It's where I'm gonna AC's over here, and it's where I'm gonna plant like pumpkins in the winter time. Had this little shoe rack going with herbs, and it was doing okay. Mint and basil and stuff was going. And then once it got 110, it killed everything. Over here is a Meyer lemon tree. It's really small right now, but we got some fruit. You know, we got 5 of the lemons. It's a hybrid between a type of orange and a type of lemon. It's supposed to be a really sweet lemon. Kind of the dig up marks are there are rats. We saw them last night. Making our way over here, and this first one climbing up the baby crib trellis is cantaloupe. We don't have any cantaloupe yet, but let's go in a little bit closer. And if you look right here, that little guy is the female part of a cantaloupe. And when these male ones like this open up, once this opens up, we can hand fertilize them because there's not enough bees around here to actually fertilize on its own. So we just have to hand do it. This is a jalapeno. This is the only jalapeno I have in full sun all day, and it is doing great. I would bring the other jalapenos over here, but they weren't doing as good as this one. So I don't know what it is. This one's just doing great. There are jalapenos on here, you know. Got some new growth growing. I think there's new growth growing in a couple of spots, but I'd have to get through and see. But I mean, we have some larger ones as well. I just harvested about 10 to 15 yesterday or the day before. This is watermelon, and it's doing okay. It should be growing a lot more, but it got stunted by the heat as well. These plants are actually mystery plants. There's some type of cucurbit family, like squash, melon, cantaloupe. Don't know what it is. And this one might have got disease because the flowers have wilted up and the growth has stunted. So this could be a disease that's tearing apart the leaves, and it might the plant, I don't know what to do about it. We'll have to figure it out, but I don't know what it is. Got it from our school's community garden. Just a little sprout came up, and it was in the wrong area of the garden, so they were going to throw it away, just weed it out. So I took it, and I took this one, and this one's doing great. It's got some like mites on it, but you can see the flowers are doing great. New growth, and the flowers are doing great. And on here, let's see if we have any female bulbs. No, I don't see any yet. So I don't know what it is. So what I'll probably do after I do this is I'll probably come back and just pollinate with a paintbrush all of the flowers into each other, just in case some of those are female or not. All right, and then over here, this used to be the tomato alley. You can see some of the remnants, had it stair-stepped up. Oh, and these little benches right here, you see these little benches, the wood and everything, and those, me and my girlfriend Anna made those, and we just got some wood together. This one's a little bit easier to see. We just went and got 2x4s, and it's a little dirty looking, but we stained them with espresso stain, and then used polyurethane to seal them on the outside to kind of weather treat them, and then painted the cement cinder blocks. And then I just like did a 3D print and did a little spray paint around it to make a little picture. But we made a whole bunch of those. You'll see some more of them. Over here is the bigger tomatoes, and the rats have just come through and devastated it. So the heat did a number on them, but then also the rats have been eating all the tomatoes. So this plant now has 0 tomatoes. This one only has 3, and they're tiny. So there's the one right in there. There's the second one, and there should be a third somewhere. Oh man, the rat fucking ate it. It ate a bunch yesterday. There's the only one left on this one. All of those were eaten off of this one, and as of yesterday, all of those were eaten, and you can see the remnants of the underripe tomato that bastard ate. Some wildflower, some flowers down here to attract pollinators, some green onion. This is more watermelon. I replaced the watermelon because this used to be, I was starting watermelon where those rings are at, and I had to dump them because the rats ate them. And they did. This one we got in time, but all that digging up around it is rat. I put some net on it because we thought it was birds, and it's not birds. We found out last night it's rats. And the rat will eat leaves, trample all over it, dig up for seeds and dig all around it, and just decimate it. And it did this one 2 days ago, just decimated it. They looked the same, these two, and decimated it, dug this all up. You see it's more disturbed on the ground. It's just absolutely horrible. And then this one is the biggest tomato plant we have. This is big beef stock tomato. All of those ones in the back are slicing tomato, Whopper slicing tomato. And this one was doing good. We had 5 fruits on it. And last night, that motherfucker did that. He ate one of them. So we still got a couple of the biggies, you know. We still have a couple. And this one down here, I don't know if there's any bite marks on the bottom. We'll have to check it. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh man. If you can see right there. There is a stub. It ate another one. And I missed it. Damn it. Alright. Well, it's come through and just freaking devastated this place. Over here's where, like, we start some seedlings, and they're not doing good. Once the heat came, it kind of knocked them out. But this one is one last pickle cucumber that's doing okay. Gonna let it just keep on growing till it gets maybe an inch or 2 bigger, and then we'll go ahead and transplant it and put it in the ground. This area over here is a worm farm. So let me see if I can kind of lift this up and not disturb everything. Well, under the newspaper, we feed like the wasted plants and stuff to the worms. They poop out like their worm castings are nitrogen, and we can then take that nitrogen-enriched soil and then mix it with our regular soil and give the other plants food. So we basically have a worm farm that makes more worms and makes food for the plants. That one is just our soil that we mix together. And then there's just like random crap that we need to organize. Back over there is like a little table that we use to like build stuff and stuff like that. And then over here is like the main part of the garden, because during the summer this only gets like 3 hours of sun on this side and like 3 hours on that side, and then the middle gets like 6 hours. But it's a walk path, so it kind of splits it. Ton of aloe here that just keeps on popping up, and when they pop up, like in here a new little one pops up, I'll just take it out and then pot it, and then I've just been giving those away. Got the little bird feeder, remnants of rat eaten tomatoes, and you can see there was more tomato here, but it was eaten by a rat. Probably climbed up here. They can climb good. Climbed up and got it. It's a rose bush, not doing too good. Might be too hot, not sure. But this is what is it? High something? Hibiscus. Onion, garlic, citronella, some more green onions I just mix in, mint. That's actually behind it is Brussels sprouts. Not supposed to grow when the temperatures reach over 80, but a couple of the little Brussels sprouts are not dead. They're still hanging on. So if they can make it, that'll be great. And then this is kale all through here, and it's not supposed to grow over 80 degrees either, and it's making it, so I water them and give them food. This is green beans plants, and some disease and caterpillars and moths have come through and just wrecked it. There is not much fruit on here, and either the rats are eating the fruit, or they're just not making it. So there's some right there, but it's having a tough time. This is a big old tomato plant. It's given us 0 fruit. Probably doesn't get enough sun on the side of the house here. This right here is a mystery tomato. I got this from the school too, and I don't know what type it is, but they just taste like regular tomatoes. That citronella I had out in full sun and just moved it here yesterday. It is doing bad. Some more mint. That's like a peppermint. That's peppermint. No, wait. That's sweet mint, and that one is peppermint. And then that's another sweet mint right here. Just have some flowers that we need to pot. Whole bunch of basil. So I started these like this little plant and then clipped it into starting more plants. That's a purple basil. As it gets bigger, it should get more purple. And that's another purple basil that as it gets bigger, it should get more. And then here's some that I'm 2 mint that I'm gonna have wait for the roots to come out. That one's starting to get some roots on that basil, and these ones look bad and diseased, so I need to just throw them away. This is a cayenne pepper. I actually found a dried cayenne pepper, whole pepper, at the school, and I just took it home and broke it open, grabbed the seeds out, and just planted it. Some flowers, wildflower mix, zinnias right there. This is a zucchini that got just wrecked, absolutely wrecked when it got to 110 degrees. And you can see the rat actually bit into that. This is a habanero plant. Peppers are actually doing pretty good. So we actually have like a ton of habaneros in here. If you take a look. Look at all that. A ton of habaneros. So we got a good amount of habaneros. They're almost ripe. They were green last week. Going to that lime green. should be orange here in a couple weeks. More sunflower. You can see like this bad box isn't providing the best, so the plants don't look as good. And this one grew in the same conditions as this, but I just put it into a pot with more soil. Doing great. What are these? Are those zinnias? Is that what that is? I'm sorry, I don't know flower. Yeah, that's zinnias. Okay. This is dahlias. It looked great, big purple dahlias, and I think the heat just wrecked it. This is a New Mexico Gem. It's like a kind of like a green hatch chili. And these will get pretty big. These will get about 5 or 6 inches. But there's a couple of them in here. I don't see all of them at the moment. But yeah, there's a few in there. This is a squash. Heat got it too, stunted it. There was 3 plants. This one in the middle looks like it's still gonna make it. Don't know what's going on here. Maybe some vitamin deficiencies, calcium or something. But these sides are dead. So I need to take these off, and it looks like the rat got that too. Jalapeno plant. I just took 10 to 15 or 10 to 13 off of this one, and it already has a bunch more started again. Right here, right there. I mean, I can't go through the whole plant, but they're everywhere. And this pot is actually my grandmother's pot, and she's been working that magic, you know. Been the most fruitful plant that we have here. Consistently just the most fruitful plant. Some disease or something is taking over in the tips. So I gotta look up and see what that could be. So we'll see. This is ghost pepper. Haven't had any show up, but we finally got some. You see that? Finally got some flower buds. Flowers will give us the fruit. Just gotta wait for them to come through. Maybe another month or so. Bell pepper. This one had a bell pepper about that big, and then it got some end rot once it got hot. So we'll see if the bell peppers, these new flowers, we'll see if these new flowers give us anything. But like this one died off, didn't get pollinated. So maybe I'll come in and hand pollinate with this today too. Some more zinnias. Green onions, cayenne pepper right here, and yeah, the cayenne kind of blend in, but it's that kind of looks like green beans, but yeah, there's some cayenne in there as well. And then this is the rest of the tomatoes, and these are all the snacking tomatoes, the little cherry tomatoes. This one and this one is called Tidy Treats. And I got both of these from the school. They, again, popped up in a place they shouldn't have been. Little tiny plants, like smaller than my palm, of just little tiny growth. And I planted them, and they've been growing. They got bigger. And I think, because like you see all the flowers on here, I think there were some tomatoes, but either rats or birds have eaten them. Probably rats. This little guy here, called Tasty Tumbler, actually has decent amount still, and we've harvested like 10 to 20 off of here already. Still has a decent amount. This one had about 40 to 50, and the heat came and just killed off most of the plant. But there's some new growth here that's looking pretty good. So moving it over here to the side of the building is probably a good deal. Wildflowers, some more flowers. This one is from the school too. Got it as a like tiny plant, like maybe 5-6 inches, and it's exploded, but it's given 0 fruit. So we'll see what it is. This is bay leaf. You know what you put in like Italian food and stuff is bay leaves, and that discoloration was my fault. I went and watered this right before the sun hit it. So when the sun came out, it just magnified it and burned it to smithereens. Any place that had water on it. Wildflowers. Used to be a plum tree where that big bucket of wildflowers are that are big with the bloomings. That used to be, the plum tree used to be here. We moved it over there to try to save it, but it died. This big boy is from the kookaburra family as well, and it's cucumbers. And so you can see little cucumbers growing. So these are the female plants, like those round ones on the cantaloupe, and they have to get pollinated by the male ones without the little cucumber on it. And so we've a whole bunch of them died because we didn't know, we don't have enough bees, and we didn't know that you have to hand pollinate them. So Anna actually came out 4 days ago now and hand pollinated a few, and check this out. We got one. There was another one that looked like it was gonna grow and it didn't make it. And once I get these shrivelly type, I think they're done. You missed the pollination phase. So I think all of these aren't gonna make it, but maybe some of the new growth up top, maybe some of this new growth will. And then got some basil tucking out, some green onions. This was cilantro and the heat decimated it. That was cilantro, heat decimated it. These little things are where I feed the worms with some of that pulverized juice. So that's just like food scraps and stuff. I blend them up, put them into here. There's holes all in this container cylinder going down, and the worms just eat it and then drop their poop all around and fertilize the crops. So that's what also is helping this cucumber grow nice. Over here, I want to move this. I want to just take this out and move it. But it's been a pain. I took out one of its little pups out, and that was like, took me 30 minutes. It was hard. So I'm gonna have to do something, look up how you remove those. And I think that's about it. This that's sitting here is just like some plant food fertilizer for fruiting trees, and I'm gonna go give that this round bowl to the citrus tree, and then that I'm gonna just do a little bit in each one that has fruit. Oh no, there's there's a little bit more. Okay, so as an experiment of seeing if sunflowers could handle full sun, that Arizona heat and sun, I went ahead and planted some out front. So here are the sunflowers from out front, and you'll notice that they go from small to tall, and that's because of that little gap in between the two cars allows sunlight into here, and then the rest of the car blocks it. So it's like an inverse of that car outline. And they're growing good. They look like they're about to bloom. A lot of them look really good, and they're an assortment of wildflowers, so they should be different colors and different species, so it'll be really cool to see it. That's Anna, and that's about it. That was the grand tour, and yeah, 23 minutes. That was a long grand tour. All right, man. I'll finish this up and just try to load it to YouTube's.